So here we start off with Corupt Bargain, playing semi-historical variant, whatever, historical start, with Adams going first. And in order to understand things, you kind of have to assess the cards. And let's start with the most valuable one because it comes with some action points. Benjamin Ruggles. By the way, I wish something similar to this could have been done for the elections for Founding Fathers. The election sequence in that's it up there, right above Dwarven Rails. That is an excellent game for covering, you know, the expansion and it's sort of a Republic of Rome type thing. The expansion and political machinations throughout early U.S. history. But the electoral process, I don't really like how that works. Something this rich would have been, but obviously it would have to be a completely different mechanism in a lot of ways. Almost a separate game that would be attached to that. But something along these lines that handled, hey, are you worrying about the popular vote, or are you just worried about the electors? And that has the capability to throw elections into weird places. But anyway, so I could get a couple of political power in Ohio and one popular over in Connecticut. Now this one gives me power just in Indiana, which is clearly not as important as either of those. I mean, we look, Ohio's 16, Connecticut's 8. Connecticut's not very big. Whereas Indiana's worth 5. But I would get 2 politician cards that I could use late in the game, and I would get an insight instead of action points. Right now, action points are worth more. Let's keep looking, but I don't think these are all that exciting. 2 cubes in the West and a populist card. 2 politicians in Georgia. 1 of each in Maryland. And 3 tokens in the South. I think that means I get to choose whichever type, but -2 tokens of your own from the North. So this is why. Democratic Republican Senator, formerly Governor of Maryland, and a staunch supporter of slavery. Yeah. So this is the kind of card that's going to screw you. And if you have no tokens in the North, though, you get away for free. So that's kind of appealing. And then here, this is clearly not an exciting card. So I think I want to go with this. So I'll get me 2 in Ohio, challenging Clay, and 1 in Connecticut, where we have a lot of popular power already. We take the card. It's important because of the suit. But now we get 3 action points. And what can we do with the action points? Well, let's use this. I'm not always great with these. I could either grab votes right away. That doesn't seem terribly valuable. Or I could draw cards, which I like. Or political intrigue, where I could cancel out. You know, I could do a lot of harm to Clay there. But again, I don't know much about what's going to happen overall in the game, right? Oh, these slide forward. Which means, oh shit, I should reshuffle. All right, we gotta change where this deck is, because I'm gonna want to draw from that, and I will probably do a reshuffle. Okay, what is my first thing is any cubes or anything that I'm playing at this point in the game. Everything's kind of up in the air. I don't know that I want to do those things, you know. You can't tell how valuable any given play is going to be. So campaigning in a specific state seems a lot weaker. Now let's take the comparison between popular and political. The politicians I can almost invariably use somewhere where there's a state capital present, right? Now in the Northeast, my battery died there. In the Northeast, there aren't many non-popular elections. But with my initial start in the Northeast, I've got a good, at least jump on the popular vote compared to everybody else probably. I don't know. 24. He's got some serious power in those couple of states. But anyway, it feels a lot safer to me to draw political card, the politician card. So I'm going to draw 2 of these, and I get to pick one. -1 from a rival. Okay. I don't know which one to keep. I'm going to do that again. I get 3 action points. I'd rather give votes than hurt people, and I'll do it a 3rd time there. This could be very powerful. So again, a lot of my choices are based on, hey, what kind of flexibility do I want? Now, in some of these cases where I'm getting a vote in a given state, maybe that's important, maybe it's not. What did I throw out? Did I throw out any states? I threw out these that are states. This one I threw out that was a regional one. So that's not as big a deal. I'm going to reshuffle the populist deck because I should not have seen that main card. And then we'll get to, I guess, Old Hickory's turn. Because, let's just make sure that we did everything. Yep. Really light turns. They really are. For Jackson, I feel like this is better. I'm getting 2 politician cards. That'll give me some power. That's not quite 2 AP, but it's close. Whereas the next one, a couple of cubes in the west, I mean, that could be a big deal. To drop some cubes, get some more votes everywhere. But this gives me more flexibility. And I get as many pieces. I'm just getting them in Indiana, which, maybe isn't the best place in the world for me to be grabbing things. But gets me that. These all slide up. And again, I'm not that worried about, do I want to go for this? This is pretty nice. 2 of each, but I want those action points, right? So I'm going to go for one of the richer choices, unless there's a strong reason to go otherwise, and there isn't at this point. Okay. Now, my feeling with Jackson is, one of the things that I was thinking was maybe there should be personal advantages, sort of like player powers or advantage-disadvantage combinations or something like that, to better represent the different characters in the game. And my feeling there would be, hey, Jackson would want popular votes, right? If somebody can win just with popular votes, they win the game. It's not an impossible strategy. And at this point, I actually have a little bit of an edge that way. Do I want to go for it? I don't know, man. I feel like the way the game is designed, that is the losing strategy because there's 4 players. And everybody's going to try to keep you from winning on the first round, probably. Which means the popular vote just doesn't work. However, it is Jackson, so let's do it. 2 votes in Kentucky, which is worth 14. 1 in Virginia. Virginia's worth so much, but 2 votes, to me, is worth more. And let's go again. Now, we may want to mix a vote in Indiana. I don't know. Definitely, we'd rather have the vote in the West. And let's keep going with that populist strategy. A vote in the West or a vote in the North? My guess is it's going to be really hard for me to win things in the North. But a final push vote in the North, you know, might get me Pennsylvania. But I'm going to go with the West anyway, because I took the 3 AP card there. Okay, that'll put me to Crawford. Who has to look? 2 in the West and a populist card. 2 politicians in Georgia. I already have that. I've got a lot of strength in Georgia. Both players have picked up a slavery card so far. That may mean I'm not that excited in that. Plus, insight is not as valuable as it could be. Here, Maryland, 3 tokens in the South, and -2 in the North. Okay. Crawford is going to grab this because I have nothing in the North. It's putting me on a different set. I'm only going to get 2 action points, but this is a rich card for me. So I get 1 of each here in Maryland. A nice place, you know, 11 votes, and I'm just jumping my way in. 3 tokens of any kind in the South. Well, let's cover Delaware. And South Carolina with politicians. I lose 2 of my tokens in the North. Well, I don't have any in the North, so great for me. All right, and that puts me over to Henry Clay. Let's check my battery situation there. Okay. West and a popular card, that's nice. 2 in Georgia. Well, now people have cards I could steal from. I don't know who I want to steal from, but they have cards. This doesn't excite me too much. So, 2 popular in the West. Right now, I could grab a tie in Tennessee. It's only worth 11. Or I could kind of play around in states that there's nothing really in. Huh. If everybody's tied with no politicians in a state, which is possible, you know, some of these states aren't very important. I guess you all go to the tiebreaker rules for that. And that goes to regional politicians, etc. So that's kind of interesting. Do I want one in New Hampshire? What's New Hampshire worth? New Hampshire's worth 8. Georgia's worth 9. I could tie Crawford in Georgia, and that gets me into an interesting position. This gives me 4 votes. I mean, an insight is worth more than an AP at this point if I'm taking away from people. So this is kind of intriguing. 2 of each, no more than 2 per state in any combination. It's in the West, which is iffy. I like this one, but it only comes with 1 bonus, and that weakens me. Let's take 2 cubes in the West and 3 AP. I feel like we're kind of fighting 2 battles here. You know what? I'm going to go with this. Get me my 2 politicians in Georgia. A slavery issue, which I don't know, because a lot of people are collecting that. Everybody else is collecting that except Crawford. So it kind of might have made more sense to go for the boats or something. I get 2 AP and an insight. Let me leave this blank. Well, I know what the card is, if that matters. Okay, 2 AP and an insight. Well, I'm going to take my insight first. I'm going to take 2 cards from... I'm going to look at 2 from him. I should have dice down here. Yeah, I do. Okay, since there's only 3 cards, one of them doesn't get picked. Okay. So I look at these 2. Virginia or Mississippi? Take the Virginia card. Now I got 2 more. Well, this is Clay. He's clearly going to go for politicians. Oh, shit. I don't remember what he took. Son of a bitch. He did not take his cards. I think he took the 2 action point down there. Yeah, we're going to give him politicians for those. New Jersey versus the West. Do I want flexibility in the West? Sure. Take a rival off in the South or a rival off in Tennessee. We've got some Southern stuff, so we want to do that. Okay, we go back here, and I'm getting 2 APs as well. +1 anywhere in the South. Yeah, definitely. And we'll take another politician set. New Hampshire or New Jersey? Well, I know New Jersey is worth a lot now, but at this point in time, it's the same size as New Hampshire. They're both politicians, of course. I don't see anybody in New Jersey, so I'll take that. Nobody's in either one for politicians. And that gets us through the first round, which means Jackson will be going first. I'm going to take a little bit of a break there. So, insights are better than APs, right? Well, no, I've been cheating with the I've been cheating with the APs. You're supposed to draw 4 cards, aren't you? Yeah, draw 4. I've been drawing 2, which makes the insight clearly a better card. Well, we'll try to play better now. Because 4 cards gives you a lot more flexible choice. And I don't know why I was doing that, but I don't want to go back and try to fix things. Okay, so now I have a slavery card. There is not a slavery card for a while. There are a bunch of boats. So what do I want to do with Jackson? Jackson, get power in the West. 1 in New Hampshire. This is appealing. 2 of each in the West. I only get 2 AP. Gives me less flexibility later in the game. Gives me a boat. Or do I want this? This gives me a populace, which I've got a whole bunch of them. I think this is too rich a card to let somebody have. There just aren't that many things left. So 2 of each in the West. Let's get us some power in Louisiana. It's Old Hickory after all. Let's drop votes out there. And where's the other one? So this becomes kind of interesting. Louisiana is the only place that's decided just by these. We have one there. We're probably not able to win there easily. Indiana's becoming a bit of a fight. Yeah, let's throw a second one in Louisiana. We're allowed to put 2 per state. What did I do with my cubes? I played my cubes. Okay. And now I get 2 action points. And this is why I gotta do this without looking at the next card, which I think is fine, honestly. So my 2 choices are both action point choices. I'm going to grab 4 popular again. Maryland, Rhode Island, Missouri, North Carolina. Rhode Island is probably still pretty small. Maryland. Let's increase our fight for Rhode Island. Let's get some political cards too. Because I feel like we're falling behind there. +1 anywhere in the north. That could be really useful. +2 in South Carolina. That could be really useful. Let's take that. Anywhere in the north could be real useful too, though. Look at New York. That's a lot of votes. You know, even if you don't win, you might come in second playing it. Nobody's going for it. All right, that's going to get me to Crawford. I need to relight. Always the case for me with these kind of fast-playing games. I end up wanting to play more than I have battery for, and I really do want to kind of capture everything. I want another wagon. Give me power to lock states. So, 2 cubes in the west, and I'll be getting a populist card. Cubes in the west, what do I want to do with those? Well, it's a good question. 2 cubes puts me in the lead in Ohio. And I get a populist card. Now I just draw 1 for this, and I can look at it. I can always look at my cards. They can help me understand what I'm trying to do strategy-wise. But now I also get 3 AP, which is where the power is here. I have like no popular votes anywhere. Well, I get a fair amount. Okay. Which means what? Well, I think I'll keep going with politicians. And now we're drawing 4 per. Which gives us a lot more capability. We'll take the New York one. I'll do it again. Maryland, I could strengthen. Kentucky is bigger. I'm going to strengthen Maryland. Although, and honestly, I want to make sure that we don't come in last. So we're going to go with a popular. More power in Virginia. So that's my 3 APs. These all should have slid down already, but I'm finding that's problematic. Okay. Now we're on Clay. Clay's choices. Well, Clay's got a slavery issue. This is the first slavery. +2 rival in the north, -3 rival in the south. Hit the same person. Whew. Okay. Here's what's not clear. Who makes the decisions on this card? Okay? I think it's the player of the card, but I need to check that. It's not clear in my head. It may be clear in the rules. Because, you know, I could give someone a couple of votes in a shitty-ass place like Rhode Island and hurt them heavily in the South on the slavery issue, and that would not be a bad move. What are the others for me? I'm not thrilled with this. I think this is possibly more powerful. This would be a lot more powerful late in the game. What is this, a newspaper? Sounds like one. Bonuses. This gives a lot of power in the north. I like this card, actually. I would rather do this than hurting someone or shifting them with some anti-slavery views that they don't really want. So I am going to take this, which is different suit again. One of each in New Hampshire. Let's find New Hampshire. That puts us in a good position there. And 2 more political power in New York. Governor of New Hampshire. Interesting. 2 more in the north, sorry. I think I said New York, but that's where I want them. Start to lay some claim there, and now I get 2 more action points. Again, I don't want to get knocked out. I don't have a lot of popular power on the board, so I'm going to draw for that. Okay, 2 votes in Alabama versus really 1 anywhere in the north. I'll take the 1 in the north. But again, I'm going to draw a politician because I think, you know, that's more likely to win me the game overall. More power in Georgia versus taking a rival out of the north. That's a hard call. Georgia's only worth 9. Power in the north, it's political power, could get me New York. So let's play that. Okay, and finally back to Adams. And I think after this we may stop for a bit. Okay, Adams has lost some cards. Oh shit. I did my 2 AP, I didn't do my insight yet, and I haven't moved my chits, which is good. Who am I worried about? Who's my competitor as Clay? It's kind of hard to remember to do these things. New mechanism, and I am a troubled person. So I feel like Crawford is... These can't all be there, right? No, these were his draws. Okay. I feel like Crawford kind of scares me here. So I'm going to use my insight against him. And I get to draw 2 cards. If it was totally random, I would be rolling out a 6. But what am I most concerned about? I am most concerned about politician cards. So that's what I'm going to roll for, I guess. I'll take that one. And that one. I look at them. A rival in the South or an extra point in New York. I'm making a play for the New York, but the South is interesting to me. Do I want flexibility or do I want more power in New York? I don't know. So the minuses on here can be very valuable because you're playing these late, you know, in the final push. I'm going to take the extra New York one, though. Okay. And that slides these up. And now we go to Adams for real. All right. What does he have? New Hampshire. Not very exciting right now, right? I mean, I'm tied on the popular. I could get more politician there and another political card, but this is not very interesting to me. I don't really want to draw somebody into the north and take them out of the south. I have no power in the south and no real plans for it, do I? Got some in Mississippi. Slavery is interesting to me, though, as an issue. I would be able to lock a state like Massachusetts that I, have a lot of votes coming to me from. All right, we're going to have to look that rule up. Assumption is that it has to be, I couldn't find anything in the rules. It has to be that you put the cubes where you choose to put them as the person playing the card. Which means I could hit somebody who's in the south and move some of their popular vote away from the south, and that would really have to be Crawford for it to do any good. The nice thing about it is it would give me another slavery card, and I'd get 2 action points and an insight, which is not at all bad. This card can't hurt me, really, so I'm okay leaving it up there to get advanced. What about this one? +1 in the north, south, and west. +1. I like this one better. I'm going to go with this. Okay. Plus a cube in Maryland. Oh, now I'm in the south, though. Damn. Not very deep. Okay. Plus a cube in the north. Oh, geez. No, now I'm hurtable by it. Yeah. This does not impress me as a card. So I'm gonna, Jesus, I don't really want to do this. All right, I'll do this one. So I get a thing in New Hampshire, putting me in a tie there, and a random political card. And I will be getting 3 action points. Now, I'm not getting the lockdown setup that I was hoping for. That's why I wanted this. Okay. Now, what they're suggesting is that I do something like this in the rules so that I can show, hey, this is what I just did. And that actually helps me because it keeps track of who played the last turn as well. So I'm gonna follow that. That'll help maybe keep me from confusion. Now I have 3 action points, no insights. I do not have a lot of popular vote cards and may need some of them. So I'm going to draw for that. Ohio, definitely interesting. Illinois, a lot less interesting. Kentucky, I don't know. Which one do I want to play in? Ohio, I have political power but not votes, and just +1 anywhere in the north, which could get me Pennsylvania. So I will go with that. That's 1. I'll do another set of popular because I feel like I'm in some possible danger. It's so fucking hard to make these calls. I don't care about the South that much. Indiana, I don't care. South, I don't care. I guess I'll take a +1 in the West. And for the last one, I will draw for politicians. That's where I think the game is going to be. Knock someone out of Connecticut. Wow, I have nothing in Connecticut politician-wise. This is a problem for Adams. He doesn't have very many politicians supporting him, actually. Okay. We certainly don't care about Rhode Island. I don't know about Connecticut. Ohio will do. All right. And not working towards the lockdown, even though Adams is in a place where I would have liked to do a lockdown. Massachusetts, hey, now nobody can fight me there, right? Okay. That is going to put us to Crawford being the next player, but I need to pause here. So Crawford is up next here, and let's... Been away for a little bit, and my mind's not entirely on there. I could shift somebody to the north and get 3 AP. I could get a wagon, which would give me a lock, and I'm very attracted to that. I got a couple of states. Well, I got South Carolina. I got North Carolina, where I have a split in the popular, but a lot of political power in the South, so I would probably win it. I got Virginia, Maryland. There's a lot of places I could get really bonused. So this is very appealing. That would give me cubes in all kind of places. I'm in favor of this. This is the one I want. Okay. So I'll put that there to remind me what I'm going to get. Push these. That way I get to look at the next card. Okay. And now we look at what we got here. Now I just gained this, so I don't get the chance to lock yet. Because that's done first in the turn. So a cube in the north, south, west, and one in Maryland. That's sweet. In the south... So I could improve Virginia, but I'm going to put it in North Carolina. Because I can defend multiple places. Why is this guy? Senator from Maryland, a hero of 1812. Yeah, he looks pretty good. South, north and west I have to play into. Well, I mean... Let's play for it. It's a lot of votes. Or we could just grab something. But I think we're early enough. And in the West, yeah, we've got a lot of votes in Ohio already. Let's make a play in Kentucky as well. I get a political card that I add to my pile. And I look at my pile and it's pretty rich. Okay. How do I feel on winning that first round? I am not going to come in fourth from the way it looks to me right now. And I am allowed to draw 2 AP. So I'll grab a politician here, and I only got 3 of the cards. I'll keep focusing in the south in case that gets ugly. Although that could be interesting. I'll do another politician grab. Oh, that's worth so many votes. Gotta keep playing in there. And one thing we see is the good cards, things like a Pennsylvania card or something, probably get culled out early. So if we do go through the deck again, it's going to be the refuse. Now I have an insight. Just making sure, yeah, I can do this to an opponent. Who am I most worried about? Well, honestly, I feel like I'm fighting Clay and Jackson more, obviously. Which one am I worried will last? Jackson's popular vote looks like he might last into the next round, whereas Clay doesn't look like he's got much popular. So I am going to draw a politician and one of these populists from Jackson. And of course, who you select to steal from, you know, can cause some animus, right? Votes in Kentucky, that's exciting. Or in South Carolina. They're both good states. Kentucky's more up for grab. I'll take the populist card. That puts me on Clay. Clay is sitting with boats and slaves. Do I want to move someone from the south to the north? It's only cubes, so it's not going to affect this. I have some places in the north that I care about, but not all. And maybe I want to kind of hurt Adams a little bit. So this is not entirely unappealing. On the other hand, this one gives me stuff, which I feel is more important than taking stuff from the south and moving it to the north on someone else, right? It also gives me an insight instead of AP, which, you know, I get to target people. Again, though, that can cause issues, right? That's always the problem. All right. So we grab a boat one, and we get a cube in Rhode Island. Well, there goes the place we wanted to hit. Two politicians in the South. We're going to have a hard time knocking Crawford down. This is a reason we might have wanted to make him more northern. Could give up in South Carolina, but keep fighting in Georgia. Anything cheap? Crawford's power in the South means that grabbing Virginia is not necessarily appealing, but there really isn't anywhere else of any interest for us to go into. And I guess we'll throw one into North Carolina, starting to make ourselves more powerful in the South there. Now we chose 2 AP and Insight. We feel like the popular is very important for us at this point. Ohio looks valuable. Pennsylvania, definitely valuable. I'll take that. Of course, there's still there's that bomb sitting out there. Clay's popular still looks weak to me, so I'll keep playing for it. South, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. Well, we could make a run for Connecticut, or we could keep focusing on those big votes in Pennsylvania. I'm not thrilled about that, because I've used up a card. I've used up a couple of cards in Pennsylvania because of that. Now, where am I concerned? I am most concerned, I would say, with Crawford. And I'm going to draw 2 popular cards. No, I'm going to draw politician cards from him. I don't know what he has. I'll take this one. And this one. On a 6, I might have grabbed a popular. Not much choice. Okay. Take a break. I need to light up. Votes in New England are starting to get challenged. I'm a little worried now. Do I want to control who and what I push into where? And maybe. These are popular votes. Get a slavery, but there's a slavery here. +2 in North Carolina. What the hell do we want to do in North Carolina? Wow. South, north, and west for political. Here I'm gaining something, so I'll go with this. Take 2 in North Carolina. And I get a populist card, which can only help me. All right, but now I get 2 APs and an insight. I'm a little worried about my popular vote, although I had a fair amount to begin with. New Jersey, anywhere in the north, Massachusetts, or the south. We'll just take anywhere in the north. That should give us a neat little edge that we can throw into a state if we get one locked. Let's take a politician. We could get a sneak into Louisiana that's big. I can't refuse that. That could be a big surprise vote for Adams. Right? It's not where he's focusing, but that could change a lot. And now I got an insight. And insight-wise, I am most worried about Clay. I'm competing with Clay in a number of places. Am I worried about Clay on the popular? You know, if we hammer Clay on the popular, he doesn't make it. And then I'm likely to win the states that we're competing in. So that's an appealing prospect. So which one do we not take? We don't look at this one. Oh, big votes in Pennsylvania or one in the north. This is a hard call, but since we're not in Pennsylvania, let's take that power away from him. We don't want him winning Pennsylvania on a surprise, and we may start putting some pieces there. Now, I've just been drawing cards all this time. That's not all I have to do. I could just say, I want votes in this state, or I want politicians in this state. And I just haven't been doing that. And I forgot to do the draw here. But that's okay. All right. Slavery pretty much is the only issue available. So, does Jackson want to knock somebody out of the South? I don't think so. This is not unappealing, so I'll go with this one. And what do we get? +1 in the north, south, and west. Governor of Rhode Island. We have a fair number of popular votes around. I'm not so sure we're liable to stick around, though. All right, in the north, let's put something in New York. In the south, I'd like to fight for South Carolina. And Jackson has connection there. The problem with that is Crawford beats me out. So he would win ties. So that's not enough for, the first round thing. And then in the West, where do we want to slip somebody in the West? We'll slip some power into Kentucky. I get 2 AP. Again, fairly early in the game, I would rather be drawing cards. I'm a little worried about my popular. So I'll grab one there. Mississippi. New Jersey. Well, that would be a shocker. And +1 anywhere in the West. So it's the +2s that are most interesting to me. Tennessee, I already have a lot of power in. Might be able to just lock it down. So I'll get rid of those. I'm going to grab a politicians. And we'll look at these. Okay. We want New York. We have an insight. Who are we fighting? Who are we fighting the most? Honestly, it looks like Clay. Crawford, maybe. And I'm playing against Crawford here in South Carolina. I'm playing against Clay, Kentucky, New York. Let's take Clay's popular votes. Pennsylvania or anywhere in the North. I like Pennsylvania. All right, that swings us through this round, which means Clay will be up next, and I want to look something up. I'll be back in a moment. Looking up is the lockdown situation, because Crawford can lock a state down at this point. Now, he's got nothing he absolutely controls, but Virginia is very appealing. Locking a state means the final push doesn't count. Nobody can add anything to that state or subtract anything or do anything if there's a lockdown. That's powerful. So, Crawford looks like he's going to lock down Virginia, which will be very problematic. Okay. That means we're on Clay. Clay has a couple of boats, but that's an expense to pay to get a boat. I could duel up on slavery. Does Clay want to get rid of some Southern popular power? He's not really that influenced by it. What about this one? Power in New Hampshire. I'm kind of fighting for it. Power in South Carolina, which would make that like a three-way tie out there. But Crawford is still a little bit more powerful than I am there. Taking away the popular vote in Virginia would mean that Crawford can't lock Virginia down safely. So I think Clay is going to do that. Get him his second slavery card. And I mean, everything could end up locked down at the end, right? I wouldn't be shocked if all the important states are played out, which means grabbing something like Pennsylvania cards might not be that wise, while small state cards become more important, and that's hard to see. Okay, so I take 2 away from Crawford in the north, or no, 3 away in the south. That's all he has. Well, wait, no, he's got Maryland down there. What do I want to do? I'm not really playing in either of those. So why don't we take a Virginia? We'll take both away in Maryland because this is a fight. And now we've just opened Maryland up. But I have to give him 2 in the north. And where I don't want to give him is where I'm playing, which means I could give him Pennsylvania, but then he could just claim it. With no political markers, though, which would be difficult. Or I could put him somewhere obnoxious. Give him Massachusetts. See, that would be weird. You wouldn't want to lock Massachusetts in this case as either player necessarily, because the popular vote going one way, well, but then the state is going to go the other in the other direction. I'm going to throw him into Connecticut to cause Adams some issues. And now I get 3 AP. And it may be time to start putting cubes and counters on the map just to claim stuff. And we don't have any lockdown capability. The only person with lockdown right now is there. He might want to lock South Carolina down because he should win, but there's no guarantees. He might want to lock Maryland down. Nah, he doesn't win the first round there. Well, yeah, he probably would. So, what does Clay want to do? Well, are there any other nasties out there? Things that can hit another player, because that was devastating, right? Being able to knock someone out. I got 3. And I'm going to grab a politician. Why? Because I've gotten fixated on Pennsylvania. Well, Connecticut's what I just boned. Massachusetts is a valuable state, but I could get some power in Indiana. I'll grab the Indiana one. Okay. That gives us Adams. What's up with Adams? Oh, boy. Votes in New Hampshire. It would help. South Carolina. Not too interested in that. Boats, maybe, but slavery would give me a lockdown. Indiana and 2 more in the West. I could do some interesting stuff with that. But I think I'm going to increase my New Hampshire power at this point. I get a political card. Right? I get this one. I have a lockdown available to me now. And I get 3 ops. All right. Is there anything we're worried about losing? Well, our bonus over there in North Carolina is real interesting. I would like to compete for that. So I'm going to put 1 more in there. Get myself an absolute majority. That means it's probably not going to get locked down. Where else might I want to play? I'm going to put some power in New York as well. Yep. I always forget with Adams somehow. Could be something interesting here that affects me. I don't think so. Over Jackson. What is Jackson's view? Jackson's view is South Carolina's a threat right now. That could get locked down. I can get lots of power in South Carolina. Or I can grow in the West. I'm going to take the power in South Carolina, buy myself a lockdown, which might just take it. I get a politician card. Okay. Let's put a cube here. These move. And now I get my choice of APs. Lots of power in Missouri. Alright, so we've made South Carolina kind of ours, which means if our lockdown comes around, we'll be able to do it. Or there's a lot of other places we could take instead. Tennessee is sitting out there, whatever, which is intriguing. Is there anywhere where we're worried we might lose power? Well, Adams probably isn't going to lock North Carolina down, but it's interesting. Or do we want to play for more reserve power? Crawford's beginning to fall behind in the popular vote. That's interesting. Oh. Jeez. It's hard to make these decisions. And the lockdown just makes it more painful. I am going to draw a politician for one. Vermont. That's kind of random. Let's do it. Okay. I don't know how strong my popular vote looks in terms of like flex for later. Let's draw one there. Massachusetts is not out of, or north or south. So here's the thing. If I go with a cube in like the north or south, I might be able to score that kind of no matter what. Whereas if I pick Massachusetts or Illinois, you might be stuck, locked out by somebody playing for it. Now, I suspect the 2 votes in Illinois is very powerful. There aren't that many popular votes available in the South. And as long as, as long as any of them aren't locked out, I'm okay, kind of. I don't lose all capability. But there are a lot of them in the north, so I'm going to go with that. That was 2 actions, I think. Third one, let me think about what I want to do. Do I want to play in New York? I'm challenging 2 people who are both big there. Same problem with Pennsylvania. I'm challenging people who are big there. Blue has it right now, but they'll probably lose the political power to Adams, because Adams has so much political power throughout the North as a whole. So I don't think that's going to get locked down. Just looking to see if there's anywhere I want to slip some votes into. See. It's best to lock in the legislatures, because those aren't going to get taken away. Which means I'm going to put a challenge in Maryland and make it so that Crawford doesn't just lock that down. Who went first this time? Clay did. So Crawford gets a play. I have a lockdown. Is there anywhere that I definitely want to lock down the vote? I could do it in Delaware. That seems a massive waste. Okay? So let's look at what we're doing here. Indiana and some Western power. A couple of cubes in the West. Delaware, 2 separate states in the South, and a political card. This is appealing, but there are a lot more wagons coming. Huh. Can't believe Crawford's going for Western expansion, not slavery as the main issue. Interesting. I could get power all over in the North. That's intriguing. But that only gets me 2 AP. These essentially get me 3 each, which, given that suit isn't really that important to me, I think, I don't know. I should be able to get a second one of these. Yeah, let's go with this. I like it. All right. So I get 1 of each in Pennsylvania. Another cube somewhere in the North. Right now, if we lock down Pennsylvania, we win it both ways. A politician card. That'll be helpful, perhaps. And what else? We have 2 AP. Let's see what's coming. Yeah, I think I made the right idea with the Western. Okay. I only have 2 AP. Keep playing in Virginia, try to get control of all those big votes. And that means I'm out of battery, and Adams is up next, which is what I wanted to look for. Adams has a lock available. I could lock down New Hampshire, Massachusetts. I could lock New York, and maybe that's good. Now, remember, small states are worth a lot if you make it into the second round. So it's, if you're looking at politicians in a place, it's not necessarily a bad idea. Like a senator from Missouri, well, power over the House in Missouri is important, as important as over New York. So those later rounds, you're not looking at all at anything close to a democracy. You know, do I want to chance New York, Massachusetts? What are my cards like? That's an interesting factor here. I have no power to back me up in New York or Massachusetts. I'm going to drop this into New York and lock it. I think I can win New York. Based on the fact that I count on having more political support everywhere. This could be an incorrect assumption. Clay's not that far behind, right? But right now, it looks good to me. I'd like to have the boat. That would get me another lock. And locks are good. This gives me a lot of southern power. Do I really want southern power? Delaware and 2 other states and 4 more in the South. Oh boy. I mean, we could get playing in the South. The other side is Indiana, and in the west, I think I want the boat. Hey, I'm doing them this time. Oh, Rufus King. It's really cool to see the characters from the late deck, or later decks from Founding Fathers, showing up here. Okay, so I get one in Delaware as Adams, and two each in two separate states in the South. Now, obviously, this could be dangerous to me. Two separate states in the South. Well, North Carolina. Definitely want to boost our power there. And, I mean, I could play in Virginia or something like that, but I'm going to go down in Maryland instead. Figure this is all just bonus for me if I'm drawing there. And I get a popular card. Okay. And I have 2 AP. Now, Rufus King, I thought was, I thought he was in New York. And he's all Southern. Delegate to Alabama Constitutional. Huh. Just, oh, okay. So, is there anywhere I'm worried about getting kind of knocked out in? Let's grab Vermont. Why not? Got one more. Grab more popular power in Connecticut. And now we have an insight, which we have to use to draw against someone, I guess. Who are our main competitors? I am most worried about Clay, and I am most worried about politicians, I think. So I will draw a couple of his politicians. He's got a whole pile of them. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. I don't know. I'm not going to worry too much. From the top, get that one, and again. I could subtract a politician from a rival in the north. That could be very, very valuable to me because of the New York situation. So that's pretty much what I was looking for. I can't take him out of New York because I locked it down, but I can take him out of somewhere else. We go back to Jackson. Jackson, I have a lockdown if I want it, and I do. I am locking down South Carolina's votes. Why? Because they count for both, and if Crawford could tie me, he might have more votes total in the South, so that seems worthwhile. I want a boat, there aren't any boats. So I'm going to base on more on the card than anything else. Do I want to be in Connecticut or the North? I mean, I'm making this run for Pennsylvania, and I'm actually worried Crawford's going to lock Pennsylvania down. An extra cube doesn't necessarily help me, though. Indiana in the West. I'm not doing very well popular vote-wise. There's a lot of these available, but there's also probably slavery available in both cases. Looking for Connecticut. Connecticut I am not involved in, but I would be like tied for second in there. That's not really terribly helpful. Fighting Clay in the West. Although I think I have the edge. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah. I don't really like any of these cards terribly. So maybe I want AP more than anything else. So I think we'll go with that. Indiana. And then I got 2 cubes in the West, no more than 1 per state. We'll grab Missouri just to make sure nobody's taking that. And let's throw ourselves into Kentucky, since we have some of that. 3 AP after we take a look at this. Okay. So what are we afraid of losing out on? Because Crawford has a lockdown if he wants it. Pennsylvania. A lot of votes in Pennsylvania. And only the popular matters there. Well, to begin with. So if I put that there, yeah, but then do I get to another round? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Virginia is also very frightening. That looks... I'm not invested in Virginia, though. I am invested in Pennsylvania. So... although not that heavily. Oh, boy. North Carolina. What the fuck is Adams doing in North Carolina? Let's put 2 in Pennsylvania. I have 1 more. 1 more what? One of these. Make sure we don't get locked out of Pennsylvania. I guess. That puts me on Crawford. Crawford says what? Connecticut and the North. Well, I'm in Connecticut, interestingly enough. And I could jump my way into Pennsylvania. I have a lockdown. What does Crawford want for his lockdown? Yeah, he's going to lock Virginia down. No question. Now, if I was really clever, I would be looking at my cards and thinking, oh, I got a lot of power in Virginia. Let somebody go after it or whatever. Maybe. But I don't know if that's the case. And I would rather lock down those 24 votes plus a state at the end than have to worry about any of it. Because maybe somebody steals those cards. Maybe something happens. Okay. And wait, what did I do? Oh, I did my lockdown. I could play in Delaware in the North or Connecticut in the North. These are all wagons. They all do me good. Get lots of votes in Missouri. But that doesn't seem as valuable. So I'm going to grab this. 3 AP. Let's see what comes out. More wagons. Okay. Lots of popular votes. 2 in Connecticut gives me the lead there. 1 somewhere in the north. I'll drop that in Pennsylvania, getting myself the lead there again. Not going to have the lead in the state if the popular goes out of the way. 3 AP. I'm worried. I'm close to locking something down, though. So I'll put 1 in Pennsylvania. Give myself more power there. I wish these lockdowns sort of, I don't know, they're not as clearly, I mean, I could do something like this that makes it a little bit more distinguished, I guess. But 1 in Georgia. 1 in Ohio isn't good enough. All right, that doesn't feel like Crawford. Yeah, things are definitely getting messier in terms of who is doing what here. Okay, now we're on, and this is not how I thought it would play out, but the lockdowns are really influencing what people, whether or not people want to grab some of these cards and what cards they want to grab. And it's changing my view on what's valuable to grab early on. It might be more valuable to grab small state stuff or flexible stuff that doesn't give you as many votes because the big states are too tasty. So now I'm on Clay, and Clay is a little worried. He has almost no popular votes anywhere, and maybe not a lot of power. Delaware and the North, both politicians. A northern politician could be useful to me. Grabbing control of Missouri could definitely be useful. Clay is interested not in wagons, though. He has no wagons. So what about King here? That would give me an Alabama cube, a Western cube, and a Southern cube. But less stuff. That less stuff is very disturbing. So let's take a look. Delaware in the north and a politician. Just Missouri. Gaining Missouri seems to me to be worth something. Although I'm really worried about my ability to get popular vote. Delaware and anywhere in the north. What's the other one here? Yeah, see, I only get 2 action points if I go for the New Hampshire one, which is more useful to me than Missouri, but this at least gets me some power. And now I can use my action points to do things. What are we getting? A boat. A boat is good for me. Ooh, that's a nice chip for me. All right. So what does Clay want to do with his points? 2 action points and 1 insight. I'm going to do the insight first. Oh, no, you've got to do the action points first. Yeah, it's an action point phase and then an insight phase, right? Actually, this is supposed to happen afterwards, which means I shouldn't see this, and I don't really need those markers. Okay. Interesting. Where do I need power? Okay. Keep playing in Georgia. Ohio, I have a lot of power in the West, and I'm going to win against the people who are involved there. I might not win against Jackson. So that's 2. What's my insight? And the sequence of play doesn't have an insight phase. Somewhere it's mentioned that there's an insight phase, so I don't know. What do I want to play around with? I would like to hurt... Oh. So, part of the question here is, who gets dropped in that first round? Clay, if he can last through the first round, actually is not in bad shape for the second round. His popular votes may not be that great, but I think I can pick on Adams. What do I want to pick on Adams about? I want to pick on Adams on the popular vote. Yeah, I know there's 7. So this one, oh, maybe there's only 6. Make it this one. Or maybe I missed one. Okay. Pennsylvania or the North? No, this is painful, because the +2 in Pennsylvania, if that comes up to being important, is really important, but I'm probably not going to be able to convert that, so I will take just populace in the North and try to improve my position there. And that got me around to that, and that means red will be next. And I think we're going to load this up.